Today I want to follow up on a statement that I made more than a year ago, and that's that alt season should start anytime now. It is anytime now. So let's take a look. Is alt season, has it begun? Is it started? Like, what are the charts saying and what can we expect for this alt season? So this should be a real interesting one. Please like the video already, like, bang, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. That bam was cringe as fuck. Whatever, man. I'm just a little kid with some toys. Can't blame me. So tomorrow I will drop a video that if I would build a $100,000 portfolio, how I would do it. And if you have less than $100,000, doesn't really matter necessarily, but it's more like, hey, if you have a little more money than just $1,000 in crypto, what I think is best, because next year you will make more than that, very likely. So let's take a look at alt season and what we can expect. Just dropped the video about Eric Crown saying that alt season won't happen. Yeah, let's assume that he's completely wrong about that, which I think. And today I want to dive more into that. Because if you are in altcoins and if you have been, in this crypto game for the last, I don't know, at least 3 years, you have been patiently waiting and you deserve it. And you may have been very wrecked depending on how you played this market, of course, because that's just what people do, right? The altcoin market was at lows and nobody really gave a shit. And when it was at highs, everybody was euphoric. And I see a lot of people say like, oh, I'm in such a loss right now. So most people, they stepped in around this point, right? Yeah, we're now a little lower. But if you kind of zoom out to the last cycle where we had that first run up after the bottom, and then we went down 60% here, just like we did right now, then we can compare that we are somewhere around here. And this was COVID, so if that didn't happen, then the chart probably looked more like this, or maybe a little sideways, but more like this, right? So we are somewhere in this area right here. So even if you bought the top, you still have a long way to go. And I'm not saying we should make exactly these kind of gains, right? It's diminishing, but alt season hasn't started yet. Bitcoin didn't blast through new all-time highs in this last altcoin run-up. QE wasn't there yet, right? The dominance hasn't gone down. Retail wasn't there yet. Like, there were so many things right here that suggested like this is nothing yet. So let's take a look. First chart. I want to go over a couple charts just to show you if they kind of line up with each other. But not only charts, also sentiment, narrative, and time-wise. Because crypto, in my opinion, it is super cyclical. If you've been trading the cycles, you would have out-traded everybody that, were selling or buying because of a certain piece of news that came out or whatsoever. So please try to ignore those things. For now, for example, I know it's nice Trump won, right? So bull run, but let's be honest, this is the stage in the market where we always get a bull run. So if it's purely because of Trump, hey, we got a Trump pump, but the bull run will come nevertheless. So first off, Bitcoin dominance. Now the Bitcoin dominance is showing how much Bitcoin is dominating the rest compared to the rest of the crypto space, basically. And like I said yesterday in the Crown video, it's not completely against the rest of the crypto space because this only measures Bitcoin compared to the rest of the top 125. If you look at the definition on TradingView for the total market, so everything according to TradingView, it's the total market capitalization of the top 125 cryptocurrencies source TradingView, right? So that's an interesting thing as well, because if you look at CoinGecko, you can see that CoinGecko says that the total market cap is $2.68 trillion, while on TradingView it's 2.5, right? And the difference is the other cryptos outside of the top 125, but these are so low cap compared to what's in the top 125 that it doesn't really add up anymore. So there's that. I think some knowledge about this can't hurt. Sorry for rattling though. First, the dominance. There are multiple ways to look at this. One is by simply looking at the fact that we had so much resistance and support at this level where we are right now, that it wouldn't be unlogical to assume that we will get a rejection right here. It's also not impossible that we go a little higher, but then again, we could still have an alt season. If people deploy USDT into Bitcoin, the Bitcoin dominance also goes up. Doesn't necessarily mean that altcoins are going down. Last cycle, we had, if you take the Fibonacci from the top to the bottom, you see that we got rejected at the 618, right? That's where alt season basically started. If you look what we are doing right now from the top to the bottom, you can see that we are again at that 618, and it happens to be that if you zoom in right here, we are getting rejected from that level, right? Look, this is not a video me saying, hey, alt season has started, but I think it is very wise to at least consider that it started, maybe, right? And if not, at least very close to it. So look, we are closer to the start of an altcoin than that we are not. So if you, for some reason, are a Bitcoin maxi or whatever, that's 75% of this whole cycle. That's wise. But this is now the other 25%. If you look at the Bitcoin dominance on the monthly chart, what's cyclical about this is this. If you look at the halvings, I've showed this many times before, but it's just every little thing that I want to show you right now, it kind of lines up with each other. If you look at the halving until when alt season started, so when the dominance went down, was after 7 months, right? If you look at this halving in 2020 and when alt season started here, 7 months. Well, if you look at this halving until where we are right now, we're now 6 months in, right? If we do again exactly 7 months, then it will put us at December. That's the average. Hey, but averages are there to be a little shorter or longer, right? So again, it could be that it's started. It could be that it starts in January. It could be that it starts in December. But I don't like never is a little really way off average, and June or whatever also, right? Like it should be around now. Like I said, long time, end of the year, beginning next year. So that's for the Bitcoin dominance. Then we also have the Bitcoin dominance without stable coins. Now, this is a little different if you ask me, because the Bitcoin dominance is showing, of course, again, how Bitcoin is doing against every other asset, right? But that's not necessarily against altcoins, because USDT, USDC, XRP, these stable coins, right? These are also included. Yeah, you're not investing in that if you want to make money. So let's exclude stable coins right here. And then this is how the dominance is looking. Now, this is quite of an interesting chart, actually, because we broke the 618 big time. And the next level would be the 786. Now, I think Benjamin Cohen, he draws something that I don't know from the top of my head how he draw it, but it's something like, I think it would be something like this. Yeah, somewhat. And we are now at the top of this range, right? So it could be that this is the channel, the rising wedge that we are in. And rising wedges are usually known for breaking into the downside, which is causing an alt season. So that's another interesting chart. Now, there's another chart that lines up with all of this, and that's Ethereum on its Bitcoin pair. Now, why is that important? Because Ethereum is the biggest altcoin out there, right? Ethereum is the #1 altcoin. And if you look how Ethereum does on its Bitcoin pair, yeah, of course, for the last couple of years, sucked, right? But let's be honest, for the last couple of years, this is how the complete altcoin market looked like, right? Ethereum actually was doing a little bit better. And we are now facing a level where, in my opinion, we have a lot of stuff going on, right? We have so much resistance and support right there, and we now came down there. And yeah, I mean, it's not that we have to bounce off of it right away, but I also don't think that this is a level that we should completely ignore and we just do this, right? That's usually not what happens. So it could be that we bounce here a little bit and then go up. But look, it's where the Bitcoin dominance gives resistance. You see that the Ethereum Bitcoin pair gives support, right? Like it's completely the same, actually. Um, One of the most interesting charts, in my opinion, is others. Others is everything in that top 125, excluding the top 10. So you take the big stables out, but you also take the big altcoins out, like Ethereum, XRP, Cardano. Why? Because if you are in altcoins, it doesn't necessarily mean you are in Cardano or XRP, right? However, these coins are extremely high cap, so they make up for a lot of market share, right? If XRP goes down, then it looks like the whole altcoin market is going down, but it's just because XRP has such a huge market cap. Now, let it be that XRP is a huge underperformer. Cardano is a massive underperformer. Ethereum, for now, is a massive underperformer. So you can, of course, take a look at all the altcoins on their Bitcoin pair, but this is way lower than it actually is because these big altcoins are just the ones that are underperforming. So if we take those away, then we have others on its Bitcoin pair. And then this is how it looks. And look, this is actually an interesting chart. Let me see if I can draw this on my phone so it's not completely accurate. Oh, yeah. Look, this is how the altcoin market looks on its Bitcoin pair, right? You can say whatever you want. You can be bearish for some reason and say, well, we will forever go down. I don't know why, all right? But if you look if we do not overcomplicate things, every time we hit this trend line was right before we got an alt season that was life-changing. Every single time, no exception, right? So it would be a little unwise to completely ignore that and to ignore the possibility that this time might actually not be different, right? Because what this cycle has done so far is showed us that it is, again, not different. People had so many reasons to say, like, this time is different. We had the Bitcoin ETF. Bitcoin made a new all-time high before the halving. We have meme coins. I don't know what the narrative was. People always said this time is different. Bitcoin is exactly following the cycle, right? And altcoins are exactly following the cycle. Like, it isn't different, right? So consider that now we are at this trend line. Hey, we can stay here for a while and maybe go a little lower and hover around here for maybe a month or two and then go up again. Also, this chart is fucking bullish, actually, because what do you see? We have a high, right? Well, we have a high, we have a higher high, we have a higher high, we have a higher high, we have a low, we have a higher low, higher low, higher low. This thing is making higher highs and higher lows. So altcoins are, in fact, long-term gainers against Bitcoin, at least the top 125. So people might say, yeah, there are way more altcoins out there right now, so it's harder to pick them and for all of them to go up. That's true, but there are 20 million meme coins. Of course, these are not all going up. Most of them getting rocked in the first half an hour, right? But if you look at the steady coins and the established coins and the coins that don't completely suck on their Bitcoin pair, and it's not so hard to pick the winners and to ignore the losers, actually. Of course, if you're blindly investing in any altcoin and any meme coin, yeah, good luck making money this bull run. But this is the average altcoin market, right? Hey, and if this is the trend, high highs, high lows, yeah, then it would be super unwise to not buy the higher low, actually. Then there's another chart that shows something interesting, and that's also others, altcoin market, but the dominance. That's, together with this, the chart to look at when it comes to Altseason. Again, the Bitcoin dominance, definitely a good one. But then again, it also shows how much Bitcoin is dominating against stables. Yeah, who gives a fuck, right? But if you look how much the top 125, excluding the top 10, so really the altcoins, right? The slightly mid-cap ones, maybe a little the higher cap ones, but overall the altcoins that do not completely suck, right? If you look how that is dominating the crypto space, yeah, then this is the chart that you get. Now, come on. I mean, by looking at this chart, again, you could say like, well, this time is different. Dominance going up. Ethereum, Bitcoin is breaking down, right? Others is also breaking down right now. Others, Bitcoin is breaking down right now. This one is breaking down right now. Like, it's too many if on top of each other. It's like when you have a good altcoin, that's the same as like being euphoric at the top and being bearish at the bottom. You're trading it the other way around, right? It's stupid. It's sorry to put it like that, but that's just stupid. So if you look at this chart, yeah, this thing has been, it's not that it has no track record, right? It's been in this parallel channel since 2017. And if you count this wick here already, here, then since 2014, so then this chart is accurate for 10 years, right? Yeah, are you really going to say like, well, it's been accurate for 10 years, but this coming year it won't be? Oh, you're betting 10 against 1, to be real. Right? It's also not a really high chance of succeeding. So, and it's funny also because, you know, the altcoin market, it came down. But if this trend line isn't intact anymore, then tell me, why is it bouncing exactly off of this trend line? Exactly to the teeth, right? Bouncing off of the trend line. It's because this trend line is not here for no reason, right? It says that altcoins are a big support right here. And it lines up with the Bitcoin topping out, Ethereum, but everything. It lines up with each other, right? So that's another reason for me to believe that Altseason will happen. Plus, so what did we have so far? We have multiple charts all lining up with each other. Or again, altcoins on the Bitcoin pair, the others dominance, the Bitcoin dominance, the Ethereum Bitcoin pair, etc., etc. We have the fact that Altseason so far always started 7 months after the halving, and we are now in month 6. So time-wise, it lines up exactly with the charts. Narrative-wise, it kind of also lines up. Why? Because if you overlay Bitcoin on this chart, let's overlay Bitcoin right here. What do you notice? Last cycle, for example, Bitcoin, this is the red line, started to make new all-time highs right here. We had a high and we broke the all-time high right here. What happened on this chart? It's kind of where Altseason started, right? Do we have history for the here? Let me see if we have that history actually. Yeah, kind of. Bitcoin broke its all-time high of $1,200, right? That was here. That was actually at this point, right? So yeah, we already had a run-up. We had a huge crash. But after that crash, Bitcoin broke all-time highs, and we went into an Altseason. After everything that I just told, it happens to be that Bitcoin is at the moment again making new all-time highs. So this is not a coincidence anymore. Plus, the sentiment also lines up. Because I noticed that the last couple of weeks, mostly, I got a lot of comments when I was bearish on altcoins, especially because they went down on the Bitcoin pair. I was pretty bearish on it here and a part here, but we wrote it a little bit. But here people were saying like, you suck. Altcoin is fantastic, right? It's doing great, etc., etc. Now that altcoins made new lows this week, I get a lot of comments lately, relatively a lot, of people saying that altcoins are dead and that Altseason won't happen and that this time is different. Look, sentiment of this retail is always wrong. That's just what it is, right? And you notice right here as well, like end of last year until March this year, give or take, when altcoins had a very decent pump, people were more bullish over here than here. Look, guys, I understand, but it's the other way around. You should be bullish here, right? And you should be cautious here, right? And now that we're here again, people are saying it's over. Charts, it lines up. Time-wise, it lines up. Bitcoin breaking new all-time highs. Narrative-wise, it lines up. Sentiment on top of that, it lines up. It all starts to come together. Plus the fact that we are now getting rate cuts, and that definitely helps. Fed still reducing their balance sheets, though. We have to get into QE to really give it a good push. But then again, look, QE will help, but maybe it's just maybe if crypto is so cyclical, maybe altcoin season is also something that's just purely cyclical because again, it all comes together. Let's take a look at the people that are interested in crypto at this moment. So what's pretty interesting, let's take a look at the last cycle where Altseason started. So if you look where Altseason really started, was kind of around end of 2021, right? Or end of 2020, beginning 2021. If we look at people in crypto back then, end of 2020, which was here, was exactly here, right before all the retail stepped in. Like crazy, right? Crazy. Now, retail is not giving a shit. It's not weird, man. It's not weird. This is actually pretty bullish because Bitcoin is making new all-time highs and nobody gives a fuck, right? That says something about the fact that retail doesn't care about Bitcoin, right? Retail cares about altcoins. This is the proof right here. Now, when does retail buy, right? And with retail, I mean, I'm retail, you retail, but retail, I'm now mean the people that are not now interested in crypto, but that will come. Look, these are the newer people, right? And the newer people, they love to buy, and also including some people that are here already, they love to buy altcoins as soon as altcoins are already ripping. Green candles are the best marketing out there. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's what was a great hype? Let's go. Yeah, well, I mean, look at Solana, for example. Right, that's the perfect example, actually. Solana was sitting at the bottom here, and I don't know if you remember, but according to basically everybody, Solana was a scam, Solana was dead, FTX fucked it all up, and you should stay far away from Solana. Now Solana is ripping, and everybody loves Solana, and it's now the Ethereum killer, and Solana go in there. Retail loves to buy when it's already too late. That's what it is. So we just need to see a little rotation. Look, that's the thing. It can flip around really quickly, right? What I think is going to happen is this. Bitcoin is going to make all-time highs. Why? Because it is Bitcoin. We literally do not need another reason. Bitcoin is going to make fat new, well, it's already, but it's going to go way higher because it is Bitcoin, right? Then people will put their money into altcoins. You will see the altcoin market moving big time because take some liquidity out of a 80 or 90K Bitcoin and put that in altcoins and they completely rip, right? We've seen it here when Bitcoin was 20K, let alone if Bitcoin is 80K, right? And then altcoin is going to completely rip. And then the neighbors, the hairdressers, the grandmothers, or whatever, they're going to see that and be like, oh, it isn't that. Let's buy. And then this thing goes up. And that will exactly, again, line up with the fact that we're going to get an alt season. I got some questions from people that said, but is the Bitcoin money this time flowing into in altcoins because we now have ETFs and they're not buying altcoins? From what I've seen, when I looked it up, around 5% of the Bitcoin supply sits in ETFs. Guys, we still control 95%. Look, ETFs came in, was here, I think, yeah. ETFs came in here, okay? Here. Everything that Bitcoin did before that, that's us, right? This is money from people that know that they, gonna make more profits in the altcoin market. So that ETFs also made sure that we pumped from here to here. Partly, it doesn't mean that there is no Bitcoin anymore to put into the altcoin market, right? It's, if anything, ETFs are only helpful, right? It's not like something bad or whatever. So that's not the problem as well. I do not see, I literally don't see why we will not get an alt season. Again, it is so like crypto is just proven to be super cyclical, right? Also, if you look at this chart, ROI after the bottom, so how Bitcoin moves after the bottom, and we compare that to the last 2 cycles, right? Okay, now we have ETFs, we have the halving. Well, halving we have always, but we have Trump, right? So Bitcoin is going up. Or is Bitcoin going up because that's just what Bitcoin does? Because what were the excuses in the last cycle or the cycle before that, right? It's cyclical. It's just cyclical. Charts first, then news. Very simple. If Bitcoin would have sucked and not go up, yeah, then Trump wouldn't be pro-crypto in the first place, right? So Bitcoin is already doing something well that makes all these people talk about it. And yeah, so crypto is super cyclical. Well, Altseason is just as cyclical, right? So we will get it. And again, one sector will go up harder than the other, for sure. It's not that all altcoins are going to blow up. Definitely not. But overall, the average market does go up, right? And it is actually very easy. Crypto is now, altcoin market is now far from the highs, right? You see that Bitcoin is somewhat holding up. Somewhat, it's ripping on the all-time highs. Let's not, right? Bitcoin is doing well. But the dominance is now having a little push to the downside. Like a little. Compared to what we could get, there's nothing yet, right? And you can already see that the altcoin market is printing some green candles right here. There's a 14% green candle on the week, right? That's decent. Especially considering that the low caps are not included in here. So it's now your turn to actually look like, okay, what altcoins are performing and what altcoins are not performing well. If you have some, I don't know, man, just go through your watch list. Go through your watch list. I have a YOLO watch list with coins I don't hold necessarily, but there you can see like how coins are doing. Look at Foco Forts, right? Yeah, not so great actually. It's up 4% on the day. It is up 14% on the week. So this is doing average, right? It's doing average. But there are also coins, XRP underperforming, of course, right? Like Litecoin should, I hope this is underperforming, of course, right? Like coins that are underperforming. Just look at these and be like, okay, that's what I don't want to be in. And then just ignore these things, right? See the FI up 19%, outperforming. Yeah, I said to you a long time ago, launchpads are gonna outperform, right? Super simple. That's really obvious to me. But even high cap, AVAX, 18% outperforms, right? Will there, like, again, not everything is gonna blow up. But it's because last cycle we did not have 50 million meme coins or whatever, right? Like, I don't think that's even accurate. It could be more, right? But all these meme coins, what actually happens is there are some people creating these meme coins. This is my theory, okay? There are some people creating these meme coins. There are some idiots that for some reason buy it, right? Like, and I mean the pump fun meme coins, not the cult meme coins. I have some cult meme coins. We'll make a video about that. But the low cap pump fun, meme coins, people buy it, they get rugged, of course, and the owners of these projects, right? Projects, to call it projects. What do they eventually do? They know what they do. They know how to make money, although it's a very bad way. So they probably put it into the altcoin market and not in the same trash coins because they know that they get rugged by that. No, they put it really in the altcoin market. So it's not that money is like gone or anything, right? So again, I think these low cap meme coins have nothing to do with it. And people will search for utility again, right? Because what you also notice, what I notice, I have like 3% of my portfolio is in memes. And what I noticed that when the market went down, yeah, my meme coin portfolio, of course, went down way harder. right? And at a certain point, people will also feel like, man, I don't want to take that risk anymore. Plus, in an alt season, I don't need to take that risk anymore. Because if you are in meme coins to make a 10x or whatever, that's nice. But in an alt season, everything does a 10x basically. So people don't need to invest in that anymore. And then they feel like, well, if the market collapse, then let there be utility to fall back on, right? To lean on. And then people will look at utility again. And not all utility. The older coins, again, I think the dot is like Bitcoin, all technology, that. Like XRP won't move as well. Cardano probably won't move as well, right? Like these are really the dinosaur coins that don't do anything. But it's not that necessarily all the coins all suck. Right? Again, I gave an example of CeDeFi, for example, right? Like this is also a last cycle coin. Yeah, but if it was that, then tell me why it did a 10x or an 11x end of last year, beginning this year, while the rest of the market did a 5x. If it's that, then why it's an outperformer? Like some coins are old, but not necessarily that. So let's make it our job to, for the rest of this year, look for the best altcoins to actually get into that have good risk return ratios. Because alt season is going to happen. I try to give you as many reasons as possible why I think alt season is going to happen. When I stop the video, I'll probably be like, oh, I forgot one. Yeah, the last one. This is a chart that Benjamin Cohen looks at, and I like this perspective more, by the way. And he says, this is the total tree minus USDT divided by Bitcoin. And he says, like, there's a chance that it gets down here, right? It could. I mean, if anything, cycle-wise, hey, end of December, it could also be that alt season starts, right? And what happens between now and then? It's almost 2 months. In 2 months, a lot can happen, right? Here, it also kind of from the bottom collapsed in a matter of like, well, within 2 months at least. Yeah, 20 days. Like, so yeah, it could happen, definitely. Although I do feel like this chart is having high lows. So couldn't this also have high lows? Plus, it could also be that this is everything minus USDT. That, for example, Solana at a certain point gets a little overheated, right? And that Solana moves back a little bit into Bitcoin. I'm not saying it will, but it could, right? I mean, look how Solana has been outperforming Bitcoin. Hey, it might have a little retrace. That's a fucking big market cap, right? So that would move this chart down already without necessarily other altcoins going down. We'll see though. Nevertheless, alt season, it is coming. And again, to wrap it up with, alt season is not where altcoins go up on the dollar pair. Don't get me wrong, right? Alt season is where altcoins perform better than Bitcoin. So perform great against their Bitcoin value. Yeah, if Bitcoin also goes up, then altcoins, of course, go up on the dollar pair. But if Bitcoin happens to go down while that happens, then altcoins don't necessarily have to go up on the dollar pair, but they do on the Bitcoin pair. But it shouldn't matter because your Bitcoin is worth more than your dollars, right? So your goal should be to get as much Satoshis this cycle as possible. That's it. Whatever that means in dollar terms. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you want to see my holdings, my portfolio, when I'm trading, exclusive videos, there's a Patreon link down below. For the exclusive community, I do some regular updates right there, more insights. So feel free to join. It's $25, maybe $50 if you want to get a high tier, and then you're welcome. Check if you like it. If not, then not. We're still good friends, really. Thanks for watching, guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Turn the bell notification on. Let me know what you think. Alt season, yes, no, maybe, I don't know. Okay, check you later. Bye. Stupid outro.